townhouses,
Yeah, mom.
warning, have been constructed. This is Bel-Air Townhouse residence. So one of my subscribers is asking about the availability of medium-term and long-term housing in Georgetown. Here is an example of some medium-term and long-term housing on Eping Avenue.
Oh, this is my day. I'm ready to take it on, come what may.
Hey YouTube, this is Eping Avenue on a Thursday morning, and we're gonna take a walk through Bel-Air Park. So there's a gas station north of the corner of Eping Avenue and Blissingen Road. And there is some new construction. There used to be 3 gas stations within a block of this intersection, and that new building is replacing a gas station that used to be there. And so Eping Avenue is a residential street in Georgetown, and used to be one of the solidly middle class neighborhoods. That is Bel-Air Park. But as you can imagine, commercial properties are moving into Eping Avenue as well as everywhere else. What is great, however, is that they've still kept the residential feel to the neighborhood. So this, for example, is a commercial building as well as a hotel. On the right hand side, and on the left hand side, that's Bounty's supermarket operation. So this is a commercial building, it's a hotel, it's the Roraima Residence Inn, and Pencil Air and Eco Tours. So if you want to do your tour of Kaishore, that's where you sign up. On the other side, there's some renovated residential buildings on Eping Avenue. This is a major estate behind these zinc sheet walls. That is perhaps under renovation. And again, this is what residential buildings in Bel-Air Park look like. So these residential buildings have actually been around here for generations. And therefore haven't changed very much in that time, externally that is. Still under construction. Morning. But this is a neighborhood that has been plagued with home invasion, robberies, because I guess because there's not enough security. There ought to be more patrols. Some parts of the city are targets for crime because there are not enough patrols. What homeowners have done is they've installed or engaged private security companies to do their security. Still a need for the police and national security to be actively involved. Morning. But the private security companies are taking up some of the slack and keeping this neighborhood relatively safe. It used to be one of the safest neighborhoods in the city. There's some open land that eventually will be used up in the way things are going. But this is probably reserved land for a park, but no park has been built in the years since the land has been made available. So we wait to see what will happen to this land. So this is Eping Avenue in Bel-Air Park. And that's looking toward Duncan Street. Some larger homes are being constructed. More recently, homes have been getting larger and larger in Guyana, which breaks with tradition. And the other thing that has changed is that the homes are now being enclosed on the ground floor. It used to be that Guyanese homes were built on stilts, but in recent times homeowners have been maximizing space by including and enclosing the ground floor of their buildings, increasing the square footage. This is not a new building going up on Eping Avenue, new residential building. The result is that there's a risk of flooding. There's always a risk of flooding when you live in a city that is 7 feet below sea level. And building houses on stilts in the 20th century, 1940s and 50s and 60s, took into consideration that flooding is a possibility. And no living space was included on the ground floor. However, that is changing, and perhaps some homeowners are willing to bear that risk. The risk that flooding will not invade or impact their ground floors. This is a typical home. It was built on stilts. Still has a partial enclosed ground floor. But this is what the residential neighborhood looks like in the city of Georgetown. So more recently, this kind of townhouses, morning, have been constructed. This is Bel-Air Townhouse residence. So one of my subscribers is asking about the availability of medium-term and long-term housing in Georgetown. Here is an example of some medium-term and long-term housing on Eping Avenue. Yeah, on Eping Avenue in Bel-Air Park. So you might inquire about Bel-Air residences. Morning. So this is Eping Avenue, and this is a typical residential neighborhood in Georgetown. Also in this neighborhood, there is the GBTI club and tennis courts. Morning. So this is the GBTI recreational facility. What's happening? Yeah, I haven't played in a while. What are you playing with this morning? Okay, yeah, I didn't bring tennis gear. So this is the GBTI tennis club, and this is one of the few available tennis courts in Georgetown. And this is the pool area for the GBTI recreational facility. Well, let me capture some of your moves, man. Morning. Good.
Oh, come on. Sorry. Looking good, man. Morning, Joseph. Good.
These seniors are... That's alright, I'm just narrating my video. Seniors are taking an early morning warm-up on the tennis courts. It's about 6:30 in the morning on a Thursday morning, and I'll probably join them at some point, but this is what a little bit of morning recreational activity looks like. This is a private court, so it's not really open to the public except to GBTI employees. So this is morning tennis in Bel-Air Park. And we'll continue our tour. On Eping Avenue. So it's Eping Avenue in Bel-Air Park, a residential neighborhood. And this is straight ahead, the Tell me where else you'd like to see in Guyana, and we'll try to accommodate you. Later!